we are good to go. What's going on, guys? Dave coming at you. We got betting picks for June 24th today. Just a quick recap of what we had going on. We had a pretty solid day all in all. We went 2-2-2 in MLB. It was a really weird MLB slate. We hit on the White Sox, the Brewers, had a push on the Giants and the Royals, lost on the Marlins, and a really weird run that shouldn't have got in on the Athletics. We hit on the Hawks, both on the Hawks spread and then the Hawks money line. Those are both solid. We missed on the Lightning money line, and then at the last minute, I didn't add it to the sheet, but I did put down on the Islanders plus 1.5 because I thought it was going to be a close game. We did pretty solid on soccer as usual. We do not have soccer until Saturday. They're giving the players a rest until the second round. But we hit on a Sweden draw no bet. We missed on the under, and then hit on Spain over, hit on a France draw no bet versus Portugal, hit on the over on that. We missed on Germany money line, but we hit on the over. Germany was a draw. So, like I said, there's nothing going on there until Saturday. Tennis, we went 1-1. Ostapenko ended up winning that match. We probably should have just stuck with her and bounced back, but we thought she was going to be tired after that pretty grueling match with Coco Gauff. And then Contavia ended up winning. We just got Siniakova coming up today. She's minus 205, so she's a pretty heavy favorite. DFS, we ended up min cashing and breaking even. So let's get into June 24th. So Siniakova, like I said, minus 205, pretty heavy favorite. Definitely be going with her. I think the Habs are putting the Knights away. The Habs are plus money. Going into Game 6 right now, they're plus 124. So I would take the Habs. And then also the puck line at 1.5. It's minus 240. That's kind of heavy. But it's fairly heavy, especially for a puck line. But in hockey, those usually are when they're that high. But that's a sound bet too. I feel very comfortable with that, but I think the Habs are winning. But if you think the Habs are winning, you might as well throw down for the free money, or for the comfortable money rather, that you want it, also on the puck line. So for the NBA, Chris Paul is supposed to be back now for Game 3 in LA. If Chris Paul is back, the Suns are going to sweep him. It's reported that he's fine. It's reported that he's going to play. So I think they're, like, as soon as that broke, the line instantly flipped. It was already pretty close without him, so I think it's going to be pretty deciding with him in there, especially with no Kawhi. So the Suns money line right now minus 118, and then Suns point spread with minus 1.5 at minus 108. I'm comfortable with both of these. Also, I did throw down a future on the Suns to sweep in 4 at plus 260. Because if they win Game 3 and they're going home, after that they're going to win. So I figured I might as well get that line in while I can, and get some really good value on it, because it's only, like, this is as good a value right now as it's going to get. So if you're, like, trying to get it, like, you're not going to get it mid-game, Game 3. They're going to lock it out. So if you think the Suns are going to sweep, now's the chance to do it. So I threw a pretty sizable bet on that. And then for MLB, the MLB slate is very ugly, in my opinion. There's only 3 bets that I feel comfortable with. Is the Astros money line. We got Garcia. He's got a 2.82 ERA versus Urena. He's got a 5.79 ERA. The Astros are 19-15 away. Versus Tigers, 17-19 at home. The Astros just demolished them today and scored 13 runs. So I really like the Astros in that split. The line's probably going to open up something like minus 200. I like the Cardinals versus the Pirates. Of course, I always bet against the Pirates any chance I can get. It's also a very ugly game, but the Cardinals are 5-0 against the Pirates this season. Martinez is a 6.62 ERA and Kuehl is a 5.66. But like I said, the Cardinals have swept them so far, so I think that's going to stick, and I'm going to stay with them. They're all around better team, and they're in the hunt for the playoffs, so they're trying to make the stretch right now. Dodgers, I like them on the money line. Buehler's got a 2.3 ERA, whereas Davies 4.66. Buehler 7-0, whereas Davies is 4-4. The Cubs are 15-20 away, and the Dodgers are 23-12 at home. So I really like the Dodgers there. They should be very favored. And yes, I realize we are only in the summertime, but the Cardinals right now are like playing for position, simply because their division is very deep. So they need to keep pace. That's just another reason why I think they're gonna kind of dominate this game. Lastly, I got some DFS picks for you. So with Chris Paul coming back tomorrow, I think that if he is playing, he definitely has some snowball effects. For instance, that if he is playing, you probably should be playing him at the MVP slot, just for the assist factor. And then also, if he is playing, you do not play Cameron Payne. And then it definitely has to play around with your construction of how you're constructing lineups. If Chris Paul is not playing, you definitely can have, Paul George or Devin Booker at your MVP/star, kind of like we were doing last time. Fit in DeAndre Ayton at 13K, and then, Cameron Payne at the utility, and then down from there, or Cameron Payne at the utility instead of Ayton, switch them like that, and then somewhere in the lower value. But that's not the case, and it's looking like Chris Paul is going to play. In fact, you're probably going to want the big three out of this game in your 2x through 1.2. But like I'm saying, Paul George, in the instance I just broke down, 15K. Chris Paul, 14.5. Like I said, if Chris Paul is playing, you definitely want him in your 2x. In my opinion, and Paul George, your 1.5. And then Devin Booker, either your 1.5 or 1.2. Devin Booker at 14.5. DeAndre Ayton, either pro or utility, like I said, depending on the circumstance here. If these people are playing, then a lot of these guys in this mid-range just get squeezed out. And that's just kind of the way it is, because these three all have a good solid 40-point upside and at least a 35-point floor from what you can figure. So you definitely want that security. So if Chris Paul is not playing, then that's where we get into all these guys. Reggie Jackson, he would be at the 1.2 extra utility at 12.5. Campaign, as I've been saying with the disclaimer, 1.2 extra utility at 12K. Nick Batum, 1.2 extra utility at 11.5. Terrence Mann, 1.2 extra utility at 11K. Marcus Morris, 1.2 extra utility at 10.5. Jay Crowder should probably be 11K in my opinion. 1.2x at 10.5. Mikal Bridges should probably also be at 11K. Or something like 11.5. I would play him at the 1.2 extra utility at 10K. Ivica Zubac, I would have him. I'll probably actually either have him at pro or utility, but he kind of gets squeezed out. At 9K, Dario Saric. This is where the value gets in right here. So if all three of these guys are in, then you're basically going through a 50-50 shot of hitting like the one or two guys that hit here, and it's probably between Cameron Johnson and Rondo, in my opinion. So Sarge is 8K, Cam Johnson at 7.5, Rondo also at 7.5, and then Torrey Craig at 7.5. So the reason I state that is because there's a different breakdown that you kind of have to assess from here. You also have to find the value. No one really in the 6,500 range or 7K range is viable. You have Rajon Rondo, who got 16 last time, had like 24 in game one. Cam Johnson had 24 in game one and then 17. He's been getting 24 minutes in the first two games, so in my opinion, you want Cam Johnson because he has the minute stability. Dario Saric, he had like 14 and 16 or 14 and 17. And then Torrey Craig, he had a donut last game, but he had 16 in the first game. So for stability, in my opinion, and from a minutes perspective and fantasy upside, if Chris Paul is playing, you have Paul George, Chris Paul, Booker mixed in the 2x to the 1.5, 1.2, however you want to do it, and then you fit in Cameron Johnson and then Rondo. It leaves you $1,000 left over, but there's nowhere really to go. There's a dead space also in salary between the 9 and 9,500 range. There's no one here. And then Pat Bev is like priced up also, and there's no one in like the 8,500 range. So it gets really tricky for how you want to get that floor stability, because single game showdowns on FanDuel are so they're so decisive, where there's only a few combinations that like are really going to hit and they're really going to get you there. So also, if you're wondering like why I go through like all the players like this, depending on that, it's because I use an optimizer, and the way that I use it and set it up is I only involve certain players that I want for each breakdown, for each multiplier. So for instance, like at the 2x, I only want like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Paul George, and then like same thing at the 1.5, and then and the 1.2. So it's all that mix that I'm gonna want if with Chris Paul. If they're saying he's not gonna have like any restrictions or anything with that, which I don't imagine he is. He said he's felt fine and he's vaccinated, so he should be okay. So I think that's my game plan going into tomorrow. And like I said, when you're doing that, then you're kind of leaving out these guys from like a salary crunch perspective, and then focusing on this lower end tier, which in my opinion the best bets are Cameron Johnson, Rondo. But pretty short one today. Like I said, we got one less sport. We usually kind of go into soccer for a bit. And baseball isn't that deep, so we get a little nice light day tomorrow. Nothing too crazy. We've had some big spikes the last couple days. We've been doing good. Like I said, as long as you're winning more than you're losing, and you're constantly building that bankroll and sustaining, that's what it's really about. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. These are going to be coming on the daily. So just be on the lookout for them, and then I will see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.